What's up, it's Cody, welcome back to the channel. Now today, I'm going to be reacting to the best advice The Killers ever got. Now if you don't know who The Killers are, you've probably been living under a rock because they have been killing it for the... they've been killing it, that's a good one. I'm going to leave that in there. They have been killing it for the past 2 decades. So let's jump right into Spotify for Artists and check out this really cool interview from them, which I haven't seen yet, so we're watching it for the first time together.
Hello, we're The Killers.
This is some of the best advice we've ever gotten.
The best advice that I ever received was actually bad advice that I didn't take. This guy told me that I should be a star on the stage as well as off the stage. Rock and roll has a long history of sort of glorifying that kind of behavior.
Okay, I always thought these guys were British, but it sounds like they're American. Or if they are British, they have really good fake American accents. But yeah, I don't know why I always thought that. Is it just me? Or did you guys know that they were American? Regardless, I think what he might be talking about here is how there's no such thing as bad press, or bad press is good press. I don't know exactly what he's gonna say, but I know that's one thing that really can help smaller artists, is getting any type of publicity. So whether it's you being a really good musician and performing really well and writing really good music, or being a little bit out there and having a little bit of a personality. One thing that people love with music is a personality and attaching to the person behind the songs. While the music is really important and creating the art is, at the foundational level, the most important part. There are so many more elements to being a musician or being an artist. And part of that is the personality. People want someone to look up to and somebody to idolize. So I have a feeling that's where he's gonna go with this, but let's continue watching and find out.
And I just remember something in my soul or my moral compass, whatever you want to call it, just immediately rejecting this notion. And the moment that I realized that I wasn't going to listen to him, it was like the universe gave me a gift, and this fog lifted and revealed a path, another path that I could take. And it has led me to places that I didn't think were possible.
I think it's age advice. I think,
Ronnie took it.
yeah, I'm living it. I'm living proof it works. The best advice I've ever received.
So he didn't really have a point there. I'm not too sure where he was going with that. I think maybe what he was trying to get at is that he doesn't necessarily want to be a celebrity or be famous or be really well known off the stage. He wants to be known for his music and for his craft, which is kind of the opposite of what I said earlier, but I think that's really cool and really respectful. He loves playing music, he loves writing music, and that's all that he really wants to do with it. He wants to find ways to enjoy his life outside of being a musician, outside of his job. He does this, I'd assume, pretty much full time and has been doing music for the past 19 years, if not longer, full time, and you gotta find ways to appreciate life outside of just your art, outside of just your craft and your work. So I think that's kind of what he's referring to here, but let's hear what the other guys say.
Was from my dad. My dad passed away a couple years ago, and I think about him a lot. That's sort of who you go to, you know, for your advice as a young man. We were discussing a woman I was seeing or involved with, and he said to me, "You never want to try and catch a falling knife." And for a minute there, I thought my dad was Bob Dylan, because that was some cool language. I got what he was trying to say, and I apply that, you know, now with anything that I do. And it doesn't have to be as sort of intense as a falling knife or a sinking ship, or it's a protective measure.
These guys love to talk cryptically. They will never explain exactly what they're talking about. They're always using similes and metaphors and saying it's like this or never catch a falling knife, which I feel is the true musicians and writers coming out in them. You can tell that they are creatives, that they are artists, and that they make music for a living just by the way they talk. I think that's really interesting and not something that you might pick up on right away. This is a way that a lot of songwriters or any type of writers, whether it's an author or you write ebooks online or whatever you write, you blog, or you write music. This is a way that a lot of creatives think about things in the world, is always using metaphors and never being straight up and saying exactly what they're thinking, or even in terms of advice, they're never going to say exactly what that advice was, but more so the metaphor behind it, which I think is really cool. I love the way that they talk. They sound like they have a ton of information and a ton of knowledge, and they're just really wise guys. One thing that I also find really cool is if you saw these guys on the street, you probably wouldn't know that they were in a band. They just look like regular dudes hanging out, enjoying life, but you can tell they have so many more deeper thoughts and are such high-level thinkers, and I think that comes down to being such creative songwriters and really being deeper on another level.
I think it's important to protect yourself because there are people out there that aren't looking out for your, best interest. I guess it kind of ties into what he was saying earlier. Look after yourself, I guess.
Look after yourself, I guess. Once again, no direct message with these guys. They're not straight to the point, a little vague and a little broad, but overall, I think some really, really good advice. All right, now I want to know from you, what did you think about the advice that the Killers had? Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? Did you find it helpful? Is this something you might be able to use in your everyday life? Drop a comment down below and let me know. And if you did find this video really helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up. A like on this video really helps out me and my channel so much, so thank you in advance for being able to do that. And if you want to stay up to date with more music related content just like this, don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss out. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.